What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to another brand new installment of 101. In this week's edition we'll be talking all things Terminator. Specifically this episode will start with the origins of the cyborg warriors from the future, as well as a behind the scenes look at how they came to be, the franchise timeline, and more. It's worth noting before we dive in that some of this information we'll be discussing, and in the second and third parts later this week, could very well be undone or rewritten by the upcoming 6th film in the franchise, which is kind of soft rebooting the entire thing back to Terminator 2. Still, because of the franchise's tendency to alter the timeline with time travel, we can look at stuff discussed in movies like Genesis and Salvation as events that were wiped out by Terminators or members of the Resistance traveling back and altering the past. And that seems as good a place to start as any, exploring and explaining the world of the Terminator franchise. The story is largely set in the past, the 1980s and 90s, but it begins in the future. In the far-off year of 1994, a scientist named Miles Dyson created a revolutionary kind of processor capable of thinking and adapting like a human on its own by reverse engineering a Terminator CPU. More on that in a little bit, but long story short, time travel. This revolutionary CPU allowed for the creation of unmanned automated weapon systems and vehicles for use by the US military, and as these unmanned systems operated with a perfect record, the government began to fund Skynet, an artificial intelligence coordinating the military's strategic defense systems. The AI was completed and came online in 1997, but within 25 days it became self-aware. Suddenly aware of the danger of that happening given the control the system had over strategic defense, the government made attempts to quickly shut it down, but Skynet realized it was under attack and launched American nukes at Russia to create a nuclear holocaust and ensure its survival. In the aftermath, society ground to a complete halt, with half the human population of the world wiped out in the mutually assured destruction of the nuclear launches. Skynet began to mass-produce its own weapons of war to wipe out what was left of humanity and was resisting. Among these deadly drones and robots was Skynet's ultimate creation, the terrifying cyborg Terminators. Fully cybernetic organisms, the original versions, known as the T-800s, had metal skeletons with living tissue grown over top of them to make them appear human, allowing them to blend in better with actual humans, making them even deadlier in their mission to wipe out the Resistance. The T-800s are incredibly durable, capable of surviving multiple gunshots from small arms, including point-blank shotgun blasts without feeling any pain at all. They're also incredibly strong, as you'd expect a futuristic cyborg to be. They also have a number of built-in systems to make them even deadlier and more efficient, including a tactical heads-up display that allows precision targeting, optics that allow cyborgs to see in infrared, and vocal systems that can mimic a range of human voices. Created by James Cameron, the franchise began in 1984 with The Terminator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as the titular T-800, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese. The film was well reviewed and a hit at the box office, making $78 million worldwide and launching the franchise. The film actually begins on a positive note, with the human resistance led by John Connor managing to gain the upper hand and breaking through Skynet's defense grid, but Skynet was also able to use its processing power to make a massive scientific breakthrough and figure out time travel. Using this, they decided to eliminate Connor in the past to prevent him from ever leading the resistance. To do this, they sent a T-800 back to eliminate his mother, Sarah Connor, in Los Angeles in 1984. The Resistance then sent a protector of their own back, Kyle Reese, a sergeant and close confidant of John Connor. Reese and Sarah managed to stop the Terminator at the cost of Kyle's life, with a twist. Kyle and Sarah conceived a child, which was, of course, none other than John Connor himself. The franchise continued in Terminator 2 in 1991, which famously saw Arnold Schwarzenegger return as the T-800, but this time as an ally, defending a young John Connor from Robert Patrick's liquid metal T-1000. But why the long wait for a sequel? While the special effects required to create the T-1000's look weren't actually possible for years after the original, but the wait paid off as the film earned more than $500 million worldwide and debuted to rave reviews. But after that, the franchise hit several speed bumps. First, after another lengthy delay caused by the production studio going out of business, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machine debuted to mostly positive reviews, but underperformed at the box office. 5 years later, in 2008, came Terminator Salvation, focused on the post-Judgment Day war between Skynet and the human resistance. Despite a star-studded cast, the movie was critically panned and struggled at the box office, bringing in less than both Terminator 2 and 3 without even adjusting for inflation. Terminator Genesis hit theaters in 2015 with a plan to reboot the franchise using the series' time travel theme and a new cast, with Jason Clarke as John Connor, Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor, and Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese, and of course Arnold Schwarzenegger back once again. But Genesis struggled to gain ground at the box office too, bringing in just $440 million, basically not even breaking even and actually making less than Judgment Day again, and was critically panned with just a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now the rights to the franchise have reverted to series creator James Cameron, who's executive producing a new installment which is set to undo everything since Terminator 2 under director Tim Miller, with a brand new cast including Natalia Reyes and Gabriel Luna, while returning Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, to be released on November 22nd, 2019. Let us know what you think and if you're looking forward to this latest installment and what you hope to see in parts 2 and 3 of this series, but that's going to do it for me here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.